Hi, I'm Dr. Karen Pascoe, and this video is the third video in a series on the introduction to Ayurveda. This video focuses on the season of Pitta. Summertime is referred to as Pitta season. Pitta means that which cooks. And as you know, in summer, it is hot, and our alchemy changes during the summer. So Ayurveda understands this and encourages everyone to align themselves with the different seasons of the year to improve health and well-being. There's a general principle in Ayurveda that like increases like and opposites balance. So in Pitta season, in summer, it's heat. Pitta is the elements of fire and secondarily water. And so if we have heat in our bodies because of the food choices that we're making or lifestyle choices that we're making, and it's hot in the Pitta season, that's going to aggravate Pitta conditions. Pitta conditions can be of mind, body, and emotion. So of mind, you might feel more intense, more aggravated, emotionally, easily angered and irritated. And physically, Pitta conditions can be things like red skin, hot burning eyes, ulcers, upset stomach, and inflammation. Those are all Pitta-based conditions. And so in the summer, if we're not doing things to help balance out the natural energy of the Pitta season, and we're doing things like eating a lot of spicy food and working out in a real intense way, we're more likely to aggravate those conditions. And those conditions aggravated lead to poor sleep, low energy, and all kinds of things. So this video is going to talk about Pitta season and the adjustments that you can make in summer to help balance out that fiery energy. So again, Pitta season, summer. Summer is Pitta season. And the elements associated are fire and water. And the qualities of those elements of fire tend to be hot, sharp, moving. And the opposite of those is air, earth, and space. And air is light and dry, earth is heavy and stable, and space, of course, is openness and easeability of movement. And so when we're working towards creating balance, we're going to be focusing on the opposite qualities of air and space and earth in our food choices, in our lifestyle choices. That's what's going to help balance the season. Now, according to your Prakriti, and your Prakriti is your innate constitution, the one that you were born with, the one that's never going to change, that is different from somebody else's. If your Prakriti is of Pitta, and it is Pitta season, again, like increases like. So this information is going to be even more important to you because you're going to be more likely, remember your dosha is how you break down. So if your dosha is Pitta, you're going to more likely be affected by Pitta things. So Pitta season, Pitta times a day, Pitta foods. So you want to make an extra effort to implement some of these balancing principles. If your Prakriti is more of Vata or of Kapha, it's not going to affect you as much. And so although it is still Pitta season and you will be affected by that, the implementation of these strategies is not going to be as important to create balance because you have that natural balance already within you with your constitution being somewhat different than this season. You're going to probably actually feel a little bit better in summer. Pittas that are natural Pitta constitution, that Prakriti's Pitta, myself included, summer's hard. A lot of fiery stuff happens, and it's really important to implement some stuff to balance out. Now, if you don't know your Prakriti, again, the first video in this series discusses that. And again, I'll offer you that I do have a free PDF document on my website that you can print out to make the assessment for your Prakriti. And if not mine, then there's plenty out there, and a lot of them are for free. A lot of times they'll capture your email. I don't do that on my website, but know your Prakriti. I think if you're interested in Ayurveda, that is literally the first step. You've got to know kind of what your natural constitution is. So we'll start with food. Food is something everyone loves to talk about. In Ayurveda, it's one of the things that it offers so much into health and well-being is its focus on food and the effects of food. Everything you eat has an effect. And so making strategic choices in this Pitta season would be implementing earth, air, and space elements in your food. And so that's going to show up in the taste of sweet, bitter, and astringent. And so sweet tastes are things like fresh, juicy fruits. So berries, plums, pears, pineapple can be a little acidic, but it's still a sweet food. Sweet cherries, watermelon, cucumber, carrots, all those would be considered sweet foods. And I'll include a list that you can, pause and, take a screenshot of if you want to really focus on the specific foods. So those are sweet tastes. In terms of grains, it would be rice and oats are the most sweet ones. Bitter taste tends to show up in our leafy greens. That's probably the best source of bitter taste. And so things like arugula and lettuce, pretty much all the lettuces, kale, spinach, those kind of things. Those tend to be a little bit heavier, but still useful. The sweeter lettuces are very good. So salads, which we'll get into the meals in a minute, are the bitter taste, so greens. And then astringent is fruits like grapes, bananas can have astringent taste, especially when they're more on the not as moved along, I don't know what I want to say here, kind of fresher bananas have more of a astringent taste, and then they move more into the sweet category as they get more brown. So those are some of the things. The things that you want to avoid are the fire foods. And so fire foods are top of the list, pungent. So that's spicy stuff like hot peppers, garlic, onions, those kinds of things you really don't want much of in the summer. And again, if you're of Pitta Prakriti, your constitution is Pitta, you have to be more careful than someone that is of Vata or Kapha Prakriti. They're just not going to be as affected as much. Still important, it still can be aggravating in this Pitta season. So garlic, onions, peppers, nightshades tend to show up here. So tomatoes are really difficult. Olives, those kinds of things. Heavy meats also are a Pitta imbalancing food. So in this season, if you're going to have meat, then I would suggest you move more towards chicken and turkey and fish, especially the lighter fishes like whitefish, but salmon is good as well. And stay away from the heavier foods, pork and beef for this season. And of course, sausage and the fried things like bacon, that is very difficult to digest in Pitta season. So making those kind of switches will be really beneficial. Oils, you want to stay away from sesame oil, heavy oils, and move more towards avocado oil and a little olive oil. And again, with everything in Ayurveda, it's not an all or nothing. None of this is an all or nothing. It's about shifting the balance. This is more Pitta season, so you want to move away from the spicy, fiery foods and move towards. It doesn't mean they're gone. And you want all 6 tastes every day. You want it to show up to some degree. It's just less. In the winter, we want those spicy things. We want things to stimulate our system. Less so in the summer. We really want it cool and light with space and to air out. The meals that I'm going to suggest here in a minute are pretty much very common things that we can find here in the States. A lot of times, and when I work with someone like through an Ayurvedic consultation, sometimes we don't know what the Ayurvedic foods are that are often suggested. So in this video, I stuck to foods that really aren't necessarily Ayurvedic in nature. They're things that you can find pretty much at any grocery store because I don't want that to be a deterrent. Talking about vegetables and dishes and things like that that you just wouldn't normally have. I want you to be able to adjust your diet according to the principles of Ayurveda, but with things that you would already use. so that it's just more convenient and easier to make these minor adjustments. In this video, I'm going to give a couple meal suggestions, and then of course you can see the principles in there and build upon that. So let's start with breakfast. In summer, a really good breakfast is something that's going to be light and juicy. And so things like having fresh berries with yogurt mixed with honey, and some granola could be really good, and especially if the granola is an oat-based granola and doesn't have a lot of heavy butter or anything like that. So of course, anytime you make your own stuff, it's going to be to your advantage, because then you can control all of the ingredients and the preparation process. So you know that there's not any emulsifiers or anything that's more on the chemical side, because in Pitta as well, Pittas are very sensitive to chemicals. And so then again, in Pitta season, everybody is a little bit more susceptible to chemicals. So the cleaner, the fresher, and the more simple your food is, the better your body's going to be able to digest it. And when we can digest, we can then absorb better, get the nutrients actually into our system, and then our system has a better chance of assimilating those nutrients into the chemistry that we want, rather than having a negative reaction to it. So for breakfast, berries with yogurt and granola, avocado toast on like a nice fresh wheat bread, something from the bakery, maybe not something that has a shelf life for 3 weeks, and avocado toast can be a really nice. Avocados, I didn't think I mentioned that in the list, but it's probably in the written list, is another really good sweet and healthy fat that you can have. A smoothie. Ayurveda is really not big fans of smoothies. So this is probably the season. If you're going to have them this season. So like a banana-based smoothie with maybe some almond milk and almond butter and maybe a little cinnamon and ginger, just make sure we're, helping it digest along. Nothing too potent with the ginger to aggravate the system, and maybe put some dates in there as well. Would be a really nice smoothie, or a berry-based smoothie, or ideally, and really what is so good for Pitta in the summer is coconut. And so coconut milk with some fresh pineapple, and maybe a little maple syrup if it doesn't taste sweet enough to you. Maybe pop a mint leaf in there when you're done, just for a little aesthetic of cooling qualities, could be really good. So those are 3, I think, great breakfasts. The other one that this is really a season is cereal. This is American, I'm American, whatever. And so I love cereal. I absolutely love cereal. I mean, and I'm not talking like Fruit Loops or something that's highly processed. I'm talking about, like, again, granola. And so like having granola with almond milk and maybe even some sliced berries in it or something like that. It's very refreshing. It's a good way to kind of freshen up your system. Unlike other seasons where we're trying to stimulate our system, we're really not. In summer, we don't need it. It's going to be counterproductive. And so something to freshen up your system through hydration and nutrition is going to be really good for breakfast. For lunch meals, and again, I'm going kind of standard American stuff. This is a great time to have some salads. Summer season is salad season. We don't want cold raw vegetables in the winter. We do not have the digestive capacity for it, or in the fall. In late fall, probably the least likely to digest cold raw vegetables. So this is the season. So a nice salad, a salad with lettuce, purple cabbage, shredded carrots, cucumbers again, and a nice light dressing with maybe like a little oil, and a light oil and some lemon juice and a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper. Because again, we want all 6 tastes. It's more about kind of shifting that distribution over to the light, sweet, bitter, and astringent type things. Or a leafy green salad, like a sweet lettuce is, like a baby, like a salad mix kind of thing of baby lettuces with sliced red grapes, mandarin oranges, feta cheese, some sunflower seeds, ideally not salted, and then a raspberry vinaigrette or something like that. The other thing that could be really good, and I should say lunch and dinner because these things can come at either meal, would be rice bowls. Rice bowls are really good, where you make your rice And then you have your veggies and other things that you want in it. So you could do like a Greek-based one with cucumbers and a little bit of tomato, not too much. And if you're high Pitta, take those tomatoes out immediately. That can decrease your inflammation considerably. Feta cheese, chickpeas would be really good in that, and maybe a yogurt-based dressing in that with like a tzatziki kind of thing, like yogurt and maybe kind of whatever the recipe calls for, cut down on the garlic that goes in it, a little lemon juice, some dill, like that would be a really nice dressing, and chicken in that in the rice bowl as well, or fish or something like that. So those are kinds of things that are good. Veggie rolls, like a rice paper roll with cucumbers and carrots and avocado. You could put shrimp in there, or tofu would be another good one. And then peanut dressing. Peanuts are a little stimulating for Pitta, but again, it's all in proportion. So if a lot of that meal, if you look at the whole thing and the vast majority of it is a sweet, bitter, and astringent, and then you've got a little bit of the pungent and the salty and the sour with it, it's okay. Like that's a complete meal. We want all 6 tastes to show up. We're just really focusing on the sweet stuff. The other thing in consumption that is really good is the drinks. And so this is low alcohol. I mean, I know some are, especially in America, like we think about our alcohol beverages, but if you can cut back or cut out, that's ideal. And if not, to switch to the things that are better, like white wine compared to red wine is going to be less a negative effect on your system. Light beer and things like that are going to be way better than like heavy alcohols. Things with sour mixes, I know this is margarita season, but really not going to serve you well. A little squeeze and a little of lime and lemon could be helpful. Put a little coffee in there, like sweeten it up a little bit. But ideally, we cut back on the alcohol. So it's a wonderful time for mocktails. Anything that's coconut-based is going to be really good. So coconut water with lime and agave in it is going to be really refreshing. Pureeing a watermelon in a drink, putting mint in your water, mint or cucumber slices, watermelon slices, strawberry slices, all those kinds of things are going to be, for drinks, are going to be really helpful. And then with teas, we switch that too. I'm a huge tea drinker. I love herbal teas. I love garden-based teas. So this season, mint tea is really good. Nettle is good. Hibiscus is probably the best. And brewing some hibiscus tea and then adding in things like coconut water and a little bit of pineapple or mint can be just so refreshing. In Ayurveda, I'll throw this in here too as well, ice is not ideal. And the reason being is digestion is everything. Your ability to digest, it goes beyond food. Like if you have food and your body cannot digest it, absorb it, and assimilate it, it's not good. It's like eating raw broccoli in the fall. It's just going to form gas. Like it's not going to be digested. You think you're having this good food, but it's really not ideal for your system. You can't digest it. But it's also about digesting emotions and thoughts. We want all of our being to be able to digest. So we want to make sure that we're including things that are going to be good for digestion. So having things that are easily digested and are nourishing to the cells and create that calming effect are going to be ideal in this system. So those are foods, those are some drinks, those are some teas that you can have, and I highly suggest that you do incorporate those into your diet. Moving on, let's talk about some lifestyle things that you can do. And so Pitta, again, hot, fiery. Pitta time of day, which was the second video, I talked about how the energies show up differently at different times of day, is between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. That is not the time to do anything intense. And so if you are exercising, ideally it's going to be in the morning and maybe even earlier than usual. The sun is up so early in the summer, take advantage of that. And if you're going to exercise, do it then. It's also recommended for Pitta in general to reduce your intensity to about 70%. Now, I know if you're an athlete and you're training for something, that's not going to happen, but I'm talking for people, just general people that are having exercise regimens. This is the time to kind of take it down and adjust it. So doing more things like yoga, doing more things like qigong, and I have videos on both of those if you don't have access to them otherwise. Those kinds of things create a lot of air and space and sweetness through their mindful based practices. You're present, you're feeling what you're doing while you're doing it, you're attending to that, and that is excellent for Pitta season. We don't need to overstimulate in this season. Riding a bike is nice. Walking is nice, again, especially not in the middle of the day, ideally. And so making those adjustments to your exercise lifestyle can be beneficial. And swinging, if you have a chance to get to a park and go on the swings, that is sweet, that is light, that's air and space. That's just a wonderful activity. A hammock. A lot of this is common sense, right? Like get in the hammock, swing in the hammock, let the breeze get underneath you and on top of you to help cool you down. Next, and probably one of the most beneficial Pitta time interventions that you can do. So it's Pitta season at Pitta time. And if you are Pitta, I suggest this with the most strong level of suggestion I can offer you through a video. During 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., during Pitta time in the summer, close your eyes. Take 15 minutes. If you can take 30, fantastic. Take whatever you can take. If it's 5, it doesn't matter, but try to close your eyes. Eyes are an organ of Pitta. Eyes are of fire, and you will know they will be hot and dry. They just will, and it'll make you feel tired. You will feel fatigue from that. And it is like these are all interrelated. And so if you can close your eyes, if you can get in a cool room, if you can get in a dark room or a cool space, dark space, whatever, and close your eyes, that is going to make a world of difference for your energy during this season. If you can take a nap and actually sleep, fantastic. Keep it short, never more than an hour on a nap in the summer. If you do more than that, you'll feel so groggy, it'll be so hard to shake off. If you do take a nap, make sure you've got a refreshing beverage when you wake up, like a glass of water with no ice. I got to circle back to that, that it has some lemon in it, lime in it, something like that. Some watermelon slices after you wake up. Oh, that'd be an ideal way to wake up. Or coconut water. I want to circle back to the ice because I realized I didn't finish that statement about it. So with the ice, the reason we don't want ice in Ayurveda is because everything is about digestion, and digestion requires enzymes. It goes, down the digestive tract into the stomach where there's enzymes. If you drink a bunch of ice water, the digestion is going to be stalled completely. It's going to be inhibited because that ice is going to diminish the capacity those enzymes have. They require heat. Your body is a certain temperature for a reason. It requires heat to be able to activate, to create an alchemy, a process of transforming this to that, what we want it from the food into the energy that we want. And when you have a bunch of ice and ice water and super cold things, it's just dousing those enzymes that require fire. So we don't want a lot of ice. I mean, people love their ice. I know that. And cold beverages feel great, but just be mindful of how much. And if you are having a heavy meal, which again, I don't advise this season, like a cheeseburger and French fries, an iced beverage like a soda or something that's a lot of chemicals anyway, it's going to be hard to digest. It really is. And so, sipping on water, and if you need that soda later, have it, but maybe not right at that time. It's going to inhibit digestion, which again, that's going to slow everything down. You're not going to feel well. You're going to feel tired, and you're going to be in kind of a summer funk. And so those are things. Again, you don't have to do any of this, but these are the suggestions. I want you to be educated so you can make the choices for yourself. So moving on to some other things, the nap, the closing your eyes again, and then also even making a couple different choices with routine and care. If you can get up a little bit earlier to take advantage of the morning air, flushing your eyes out with cool water upon rising is ideal. Switching your aromatherapies to things that are more cool. Aromatherapies during this season could be rose, lime, eucalyptus, mint. Those are all beneficial in this season. Little rose water on your skin. aloe is wonderful for your skin. It's not just because you have a sunburn, it's good for your skin anyway. It has a cooling quality to it. So those are some other minor changes that you can make. So I hope you enjoyed this third video of the introduction to Ayurveda. These are all introductions. Of course, we can go way more in depth, and I will in videos that I make in the future. But hopefully this one will help you get through this Pitta season feeling much better, more vibrant, more energized. So thank you for watching.